This episode of On the Line is presented to you by Living.Fit, your one stop for all your fitness needs. Make sure you go download the app Living.Fit today. Now here's the show. Welcome to On the Line. Today is Tuesday, April 19th. We got a great show for you guys. We got Ricky Simon. Awesome interview. One of our better MMA interviews we've done in a while. We got the Arcatecht, James Arca, back on the show to help us go through basketball and all sorts of other stuff. But first and foremost, listen on YouTube. Hit that subscribe. Listen on Apple, Spotify, Deezer, Stitcher, any other podcasting platforms. Hit that follow. Leave a review. You know the drill. Anyway, without further ado, let's go on into Ricky Simon. We are joined by a very special guest at the time of this recording. He is the number 12th ranked Bantamweight in the UFC. It is Ricky Simon. Ricky, are you no longer a member of the Mullet Mafia?
freshly shaven, got to get a haircut going. Yeah.
Oh,
I know. I've been getting a lot of hate mail because of it, but don't worry, it'll come back out.
I thought you were going to keep it and just keep growing it until like the win streak was maybe over. I thought that was kind of the game plan. I was like, just let it keep flowing until the streak was over, if it ever ended.
Yeah. Usually that's what I like to do, but I was getting pinned to the mat by my hair all the time. I could hear it ripping out, get clumps of mullet out, and I train 3 times a day, so I was like, and when I wrestled growing up, I would just shave my head. I didn't care, So I was like, it's getting in the way. I might cut it off for a little bit, but I'll grow it back out. I'm sure we'll be on a title run here soon, so maybe
exactly. Grow it out. As long as you can get it back by like the end of like 2020, by the beginning of 2023, you should be prime, getting ready for that contenders fight.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah, easily. I feel like when you shave something like that, it's like losing a little bit of your personality. When you first cut it off, you're like, damn, dude, everyone knows me as the mullet guy. Now I'm just back to me. Like I was growing my hair out. And like everyone said, you're fucking disgusting. You look gross. And I'll be honest, I did look kind of gross. But it was like I lost a little bit of myself when I cut it all off. Now I'm back to being clean.
Yeah. I mean, I could care less about my hair, honestly. But the fans seem to like it, and like I would get recognized way more, like with the mullet. Like people would come up and be like, "Oh, I thought you were somebody else, but you don't have the mullet." I'm like, no, it's still me.
No, I mean, when you have your shirt off, you still have the Simone tattoo on your back too, so it's pretty easy to remember who you are.
yeah, in case I forget.
Yeah, in case you forget. When did you get that? When did you get the Simone tattooed on the back?
I must have been like 15 years old, man. I was young, and I was like, I want a tattoo, and I did it. My mom was not happy, but whatever. Yeah.
Whatever.
Stuff you do when you're young,
Yeah, exactly. And also, it's like, what was it? So that means you got it then. Did you know you're going to get into MMA at that point? I know you wanted to be a wrestler, but did you know you're going to be like the venture into MMA at that point? Or were you just like, fuck it, I just want a tattoo in my back. I don't care.
Yeah, no, never. I thought it was so cool then. I mean, my dad has that tattoo. My older brother has it. Like a couple people in my family have that same one. So, I don't know. It was just something I wanted at the time. And plus, I was always wrestling. I was in a singlet. So, I mean, from a young age, I was like, I kind of want to start getting tatted up. So,
show a little flair.
I recommend you wait until you're of age, and you can make better decisions. Now that I'm, a spry 29-year-old, that's some advice I'd give to my younger self.
A tattoo veteran, some say too, because you're tatted up in some other places too. Like, what's
tatted up?
Not completely tatted up. You got some tats.
Well, I got like half like a leg sleeve going on, half an arm sleeve, some ribs, my back, like on my arms and stuff. I want to get like a full left arm sleeve and a full right leg sleeve. I think that looked pretty cool. My like just because I'm basically fighting without clothes all the time, so it looked cool.
Yeah, exactly. What's the game plan for it? Do you even know what you want to do with it yet?
Yeah, I have like a whole like Pacific Northwest Aztec theme, so just kind of like merging those themes together. So I have a couple ideas, but it's just hard to get in the chair. My tattoo guy is dope. Leaf from Lunatic Tattoo here locally for me. But he's always booked up, and plus it's hard for me to spend time off the mat. Like you get tatted, you can't be on these dirty mats, and you got to worry about staff and let it heal up and stuff like that. And it's hard for me to do that.
How long does it usually take? Like after you get a tattoo for you to get back on the mats?
I started hitting pads like and sweating like probably like 2 or 3 days after, but like I won't roll probably should be longer, but like a week or 2.
Yeah, that's not worth it. Not at this point, like where you're at, it's just you can't afford it. Can't afford it.
Stay busy.
Exactly. Speaking of staying busy, you had it on like February 15th. You said I got fight news coming soon. It's been like 2 months. You blue balling the fans, or what's going on?
Man, I was just hoping I would get some fight news at that point. I was like, maybe if I put it out there, maybe if I put it out there, shoot, I'll get it. But nothing, man, nothing. USADA just came and tested me last night, and usually that's good news. Whenever I see the USADA guys, that usually means I'm going to get a fight offer. So they came and tested me last night. So I'm hoping for some news this week.
Dude, I'm hoping for some news too.
You guys again.
Now you got to post that then tomorrow. He's like, fight news coming soon.
Yeah.
So do you think everyone
just
about me? Don't forget. I mean, we did have the Bantamweight Championship. Hell, that could be you it could be you in a year. But actually, quick question. Who do you think won? I mean, it was kind of controversial, but what do you think? I mean, it is your division.
Super close. I mean, I think it was almost so close that like I wasn't mad either way. I don't know if I would have been mad if Peter won. I wouldn't have been mad if I wasn't mad when Aljo won. But just kind of like the problem with our scoring system, because you had all those 10-9 rounds, and at one point it was probably the second round or that first round that Aljo beat the crap out of. He landed some good shots and had a lot of control time. Is that the same? Is that a 10-9 round as well? Like, it's just the way the scoring is. It wasn't, the rounds aren't that close, and they differed a lot. But I mean, I wasn't mad either way. I mean,
I was kind of hoping for a draw. That's not what you guys want as the fighters in the Bantamweight division. You don't want to draw because that means they have to fight again. We want to keep the division going. But a part of me wanted the draw because I would have been like peak of that entire little saga. But it is what it is. We got an answer for now. It is what it is. But no, going back to you and getting you back in the octagon, hopefully here soon. Do you think people are now ducking you now that you knocked out someone cold, and now they're just like, fuck this guy. He wrestles, he hits hard. Like, I don't know. I don't want this guy.
That's a good question. I don't know what's going on. I know we're trying. My manager, I bug him plenty. I'm with Jason House from Meridian, and I bug him a lot about what the next move is. And you got to play it like strategic to a certain extent once you're ranked and you try to climb the rankings. But I just like to fight. I believe I'm one of the best in the world, if not the best in the world, especially in my division. At this point, I'm comfortable fighting whoever. So anyone they give me, I'm excited. Obviously, I want to move up though in the rankings. So I don't know if people are turning me down or if it just there's a lot going on in the division right now or what. But damn, I'm ready.
Have you ever thought, like, you know how, like, I know Jason doesn't do this, but Ali does this, where like people take their phone, like, kind of start shit talking. I don't feel like you're. I mean, you have done a little bit, but not to like a crazy extent. Have you ever thought about letting your boy Uncle Chael, take the phone and kind of go at it after a couple people?
Definitely not letting anyone take my phone because I like to keep it authentic. But yeah, I mean, Chael, I would definitely. I've asked Chael many times when I'm trying to make up my decision on a career choice or what the next move or something. So he's someone I would definitely be open to bouncing some ideas off of. But
do you guys still talk?
Still talk. I don't see him too often anymore in the training room. That's mostly when we would talk is in the gym. But since he's retired and everything, he's I see him less and less these days.
Well, he pretty much lives in that little room where he just talks to himself in front of a camera. So
you need some friends, Chael. Come on, let me know if you need to get out.
He just sits there. Literally, anything can happen in MMA. The next day, he has like 3 videos already out about it. Just him sitting in his chair, just waiting patiently for new news to come out.
Yeah, he's good with it though. He's good with it. He's on it.
He's good. He's great. No, and so another fight I know was someone that like you've kind of been talking about for a while is like, have you kind of just given up on O'Malley for now and just kind of pushed that to the side for now and just kind of focus on other opportunities?
Like I said, we're trying to fight people ranked in front of us now. So
he's old news. He's old news.
I mean, obviously that's always a fight I'd be down for because honestly, I respect the kid's skills, but when I'm comparing him to a lot of the other guys I would be fighting instead in the rankings, he's the easier fight out of everybody with the most notoriety behind that fight. So I would love that one. I want to. If I fight a guy ranked in the top 5 next, and when I win, I would still call O'Malley out just because it's an easy fight with a lot of eyes.
A lot of money. The money talks.
There we go.
Money talks. So the one positive thing though about not fighting though is you get to eat whatever you want. You've kind of just been be a little fat boy. What's been the best part about that?
That is the best part of it. I mean, making 135. I always say no man should weigh 135 pounds. It's the worst part about fighting for me is cutting the weight. But with the UFC and with the nutritionists they give us and the meal plans and it makes it way easier. But But that's the best part for me. I mean, that's all I do. I enjoy what I do. I get to play a sport for a living. So if I'm not in the gym, then I'm going crazy. So I don't like to take time off anyways. But just getting to eat good food and drink good beer, and I'm happy.
Are you an IPA guy, or are you like just good beer or other beers, like actually good beer?
I've been on hazy IPAs lately. I've been on some. We got some great beer out here in the Pacific Northwest, so
Yeah, you
I've
do.
been
You
on some
do.
hazy IPAs lately.
Honestly, I'm not an IPA guy. I still haven't gotten to that level. Like I like other. I don't know why.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
not me. It's just not me. I don't know.
That
It's
used to
just.
be me, man. Good, good. Pull back now. Pull
Well,
back
I
now.
say I'm 20. I'm 25. Gonna be 26. So I'm getting to that age where you're like start getting that like a taste. I don't know what it is. It's like when you hit like
Yeah.
27 ish, it's like automatically you're an IPA guy. I don't know how it works. Just
Yeah,
say
I
what it
never
is.
liked beer. I was like sponsored by like a tap house earlier on in my pro career, and I didn't even like beer, but they changed the kegs every week, and I would get to go in there and I could have a beer, and I would just go into like for like the relationship, and then I was cutting weight leading up to a fight after that, and I was craving a beer, and ever since then, oh man, it's just so good when it touches your lips. Let's go.
That's so weird how that works. What were you before then? What was the drink of choice?
Oh, I wasn't that big of a drinker. Just be like, let's just
Okay.
do a shot of what, probably Fireball at that time. I don't know,
Well,
something
you're the young
crazy.
boy.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
the
that
wild
makes
days.
sense. I mean, you're in the combat sports. I mean, drinking alcohol, calories, all other kind of stuff kind of fucks you up, fucks up the training a little bit.
Yeah,
You do feel the
mhm,
effects the next day, which is kind of the bad thing,
yeah.
though. Yeah, yeah. So, what was a bit? I think you've probably answered this before, but what was the reason you weren't able to wrestle in college? Because I know that's something you wanted to do.
Yeah, I wrestled my entire life since I was in elementary school. It was the biggest part of my life. It kept me out of trouble and kept me on the straight and narrow for sure. But I just like dealt with a lot of injuries my senior year. I was ranked first in state, and then ended up like injury defaulting out of the state tournament. And I was like, I don't ever want to wrestle again. But then like all I had ever known was like competing and wrestling. And then I the year after that I just worked a bunch and worked out, but with no purpose. And then I had a buddy who was on my wrestling team that was fighting, and that's kind of how I found it. But yeah, I mean, I think I'm thankful that I did, because it's way easier to set up your takedowns with some punches and some kicks.
And also, it also helps out the standing game too, because they keep thinking you're going to try to take them down. So then the hands are a little bit lower, and you can get a nice little clean shot.
Yeah, so at this point, like I could take you down or I could knock you out. Your choice.
That knockout's going to do wonders, because now people are really going to be
Yes.
afraid of that knockout. That's going to do
Yeah.
wonders, and it's going to be very exciting to see how that next fight goes with whoever it is, because that's going to be in their head. This guy can't knock me out. He's not just going to take me down and choke me.
Yeah.
He can put me to sleep. So one thing I also noticed is are you
Let's go.
sneakerhead?
Not like, because I know some real sneakerheads. I have some buddies who are, and
No,
they're
that's
like,
a
so not
that's.
like not on a crazy level, but yeah, I would say I have a pretty good collection at this point. Maybe too much.
I was like, yeah, you don't flaunt it enough. I saw a couple sneakers on the gram. I feel like you gotta post those a little bit more.
Yeah. I definitely lack on social media lately. If I don't have a fight, and then I'm just kind of like, people. I probably should just keep posting me training, because I'm in the gym every day, but I just get bored with it. Try to like tune out a little bit. But yeah, I think that is something that I would at least be interested in doing that. Like throwing the shoes of the day or with the fit or whatever. Because I have plenty. Like Prevail is one of my sponsors. I can always link up some shoes with a fit they send me. That's something I think about often, but lazy.
Going up to the fight too. That's more important. That's when you really get like the eyeballs and all the other kind of stuff.
Yeah,
That's yeah.
yeah,
You can just
yeah.
kind
That's
of you can
usually
kind
when
of
I'm
be
more active.
creative. Yeah, you can be a little bit more kind of just. Right now, it's kind of like a time where you can kind of be creative. Like maybe I can do this, this, and this. We'll worry about that later, though. We'll worry about when I'm like actually in camp and trying to think of other things outside the fight and trying to keep myself occupied. Like, what's the biggest thing you do though, like to keep like get your mind out of everything?
Man, it, I'm not really trying to get my mind out of it. I don't know. Like I'm
Like, well,
always. That's the thing. Is like,
to occupy yourself with something else outside of
yeah,
like training, because you
yeah. I
train
would
three
say, because
times a
I
day.
I love to travel. I love to find like new areas, new like restaurants. But like at home, what I do a lot of is I like to go shooting with my brothers. We have like a good little armory, and go shoot some guns. We have great hikes out here in the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, my one of my biggest purposes I feel like is just like looking for new areas and finding the best restaurants and the beer and food.
And you can't really do
Who
that when
doesn't
you're in
like to do
camp.
that?
So
Can't
this
do
is
that when I'm in
the
camp.
best time to do is right now. Exactly. So
Yeah.
a big reason I asked that though is I know an interview I think you did back in like January. You said you're going to start thinking about doing a podcast with your cousin Vince. When's that going to come out? When are we going to do it?
Yeah. Oh man, between the two of us though, like we have the best ideas. But but I actually have like a pretty cool like setup. Dropping Gaming hooked me up with this like dope. You can't really see it, but like dope gaming setup. And man, I'm not very like tech savvy, so I'd have to have someone like help me out with that. But we've been talking about it for over a year now, how we need to like even jump on there like once a week and do like a quick podcast for the people. But yeah, just still in the works, I guess.
Hey, if you guys need help, let me know. I'll always willing to help out people. Always let me know.
Oh my
It's easy.
man.
Doing podcasts is easy. Well, not easy.
Yeah.
It's easy to like edit and things like that. So hey, if you need a little quick course,
That's where I start. That's where I start lagging. I'm like, oh, I gotta do all this extra stuff on top of training because I'm in between training sessions, 2 or 3 a day. I'm like, I kind of want to lounge around, not work more, but that's because I was doing like a little like a video, like a little channel with my little brother, the man child. We did like must have did like 15 episodes, but just the editing, like sitting through all the video time and like cutting stuff out and all that. I was like, oh man, this is too much.
Dude,
I
like
gotta get do this.
it gets slept on. The fact like editing, like it's not really hard. It's just so time consuming. Like
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it's so time consuming. Like you can make anything look good, but to get
yeah,
there, you have to go through so much fucking footage and then put it together. It's like I know what I'm doing. It's gonna take me a lot of time. It's so
yeah,
frustrating.
yeah. Very
It's so
time
frustrating.
consuming.
Very time consuming. Yes, that is the hardest part with the creative industry. But all right, so this guy next to me here, he hasn't said a word this entire time. This is kind of like a game. This is my intern. He's gonna ask a series of 5 questions. If you
Oh
like
shoot,
the
okay.
question, we move on to the next one. If you don't like the question, you get to tell him you don't like the question, and then we get to wrap this thing up.
Oh dang! All right, pressure's on intern.
Yes,
What's his name?
Harry.
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 You mess with?
Yes, sir. All right. So let's get this thing going. So kind of follow up from a question earlier. Are you thinking of any other hairstyles to replace the mullet? Like just anything other than that, or?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I mean, I'll accept that question. I'll accept it.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, like maybe a bowl cut.
Oh,
Ooh,
that would the Patty Pimlet,
yes.
little like fucking
Gotta go
bowl cut.
I'm the king of the worst hairstyles. What's up?
Yeah. Gotta maintain that crown.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe you can go from calling it a bowl cut to like a crown cut instead of
Right.
yeah.
I like it. There we go.
Something like that. Moving on. So question number 2. So being from the Pacific Northwest, I'm sure you've had a lot of In-N-Out. So what do you prefer? Are you more of an In-N-Out guy or a Shake Shack guy?
I'll accept this question just because we actually finally just got it In-N-Out. I think it's like an hour and a half away from where I'm at currently. But
Wow.
I train a lot in California, so I've been to In-N-Out, and like I just don't get what it's all. I don't get like where everyone goes so crazy about it.
It's just I guess it's just
The hype is
cheap
too much
burger.
hype.
I think that's what it is. It's just like
I
affordable.
think that's the problem. I think it's the problem because like I don't get to eat like burgers very often. So if I'm gonna get a burger, I want it to be like fucking good. I want it to be like
I want it to be the most. I want
it
to give me a heart attack. That's the kind of burger I want.
And I went to Shake Shack.
Like,
I went to Shake Shack for the first time in Vegas. I think they had one over there, and I was pleasantly surprised. They had a good menu. The burger was much better than the one at In-N-Out.
Hey, that's good to know. So my brother's out at Oregon right now, and we have a Shake Shack in our hometown in Jersey. So I asked him what his thoughts on In-N-Out were, and he said it was better than Shake Shack. So we got conflicting views here.
Oh dang,
so that's interesting. Yeah.
All my brothers are losers too, and they like In-N-Out. So
hey, it's I swear, brothers, they're the weirdest people.
Yeah. I got plenty of them. So.
Yes, sir. Question number 3.
Wait, hold on, real quick. Are you the oldest, or where are you at in the pecking order?
I'm the second oldest. I got an older brother, and then I got I got three younger brothers.
Okay. Because I know you had the one younger, you had the really young. He's like 7th grader or whatever. Like he's a lot younger than you.
Yeah. 14-year-old. Yeah.
All right. Anyway, sorry, that was an aside. All right, Harrison, go ahead.
Question number 3. So, when did you first start to notice when the cauliflower year was coming in?
Man, I'll tell you what. I always take photos on this side. It's my good side. But look at this thing. It's freaking gnarly, man. I avoided it for like 20 years of grappling. I never got it.
Wow.
And then just recently, last few years, Tyson Nam, it's not even from grappling. Tyson Nam punched me in the ear, and then I had like a little bubble, and then I kept wearing headgear, and it just blew up. I couldn't even fit this damn thing in my headgear. And so now it's here to stay, I think. But you know, I will say all my buddies have cauliflower ear, and they would always make fun of me for not having cauliflower ear. So I was like, I finally have my cauliflower ear after.
I feel like it's a sign of like entrance into the grappling game. You know, it's like a sign of like I'm there, I've earned it. Yeah,
for sure. Even though I didn't get it from grappling, I'm getting punched by Tyson. But
no one needs to know that. No one needs to know that. No one needs to know that.
Edit that out. Edit that part.
Yeah.
I'll just put grappling over every time you say punch.
It was funny. All the best wrestlers on my high school team, all of them had cauliflower ear, and the rest of us were just sitting on the sidelines like, damn. How bad do I got to beat the fuck out of my ear so I can get up to that level?
Right. Yeah. You go without it. You go without it.
Yeah. I'm looking back on that now. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that.
Do you have do you do in-ear or do you do actual like headsets when you do listen to music?
Now I mostly do like over the ear because I try to put those AirPods in, they'll stay in, and all of a sudden just shoot out. It'll like
that's
pop
what
out.
I was gonna ask. I feel like the cauliflower fucks that shit up, so now you can never do that again. That sucks. That sucks.
Even that's why I'm not wearing them right now because it happened with this last pair and I lost it. So shot out of my ear.
Oh damn!
Where'd that thing go?
Problems us non-cauliflower ears never have to deal with, man. That sucks. All right, Harrison, number 4? All right, number 4
here. So we were talking about your shoe collection earlier, but what shoe brand is your go-to, like your standard brand?
It had to be Nikes.
Nikes. So, like more Jordan or more like LeBron's or more running shoes?
Jordans for sure. Like that's what I grew up on. Grew up wanting all these shoes, you know, and then also the Nike headquarters is right here in Oregon.
So we're
kind of spoiled out here.
Yeah, it would be disappointing if you said something else.
We get that employee discount too. So
Phil Knight would like notice that happen, and he would be pretty pissed if he knew someone from Oregon would be wearing anything other than Nike. But yeah, we just had a little power break in my area, which is always fun. But all right, last question here. What do you think is the most creative insult you've used when shit talking an opponent?
I mean, I don't know, like as far as like the one creative insult, but Brian Kelleher and I had some like pretty fun like back and forth leading up to our fight. Yeah. I knew he was like into rapping, so we were going back and forth on Twitter with some bars and calling each other out back and forth. So that was fun. But as far as like the one thing, I mean, I don't remember. But
hey, when you're spitting bar for bar with Boom, that's got it. You had to come up with a few creative ones. So in that interaction, there's definitely a few. But yeah, that's the gauntlet.
All right, we made it through. All right, so actually, real quick, this is kind of a weird thing, but like when I know your boys with Alex Perez, and when I did an interview with him, I had a squirrel in my house, and I'm deadest of all asses. There's another critter somewhere in my house, and I like just heard it again. And
is
like
it Alex?
No. But no, I had this like it's the craziest fucking thing. How I interviewed him. I had a squirrel. We get rid of the squirrel, and literally the day I interview you, we have another little animal come into the house. This is so
rodent, son. It's a sign.
Squirrel's like, damn, the boys are rolling through. Got to come out and show them my support real quick.
Apparently so. Anyway, all right, man. That was awesome. Great having you on. So if there's anything you want to promote, hopefully if I come here soon, go ahead and promote away, man.
Yeah. I would like to shout out to my sponsors, Prevail Clothing, the Barbers, Drink HRW, Who else am I thinking? Dr. Ryan Lewis, Lewis Family Dentistry. Those are the ones I'll stick with for right now. Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
All right. That was awesome talking to Ricky, but I want to once again thank the sponsor of the show, Living.Fit. Living.Fit is a health and wellness company that help you achieve all your goals, from building muscle, losing fat, or maybe trying something new. Not only are there workout programs, but they can also help your nutrition and build out your home gym. For all my personal trainers out there looking to get certified in kettlebells and battle ropes, make sure we're the place to be. Make sure you go download the app or visit the website living.fit today. Now here is the Arcatecht. All right. That was terrible. Okay, we're here with the trade wizard himself, James Arca. The Arcatecht. We're here with James Arca back on the show. We're cheating. We're doing this on Easter Sunday. There's already been a couple playoff games. Ramadan Kyrie doesn't seem like he's doing too hot, and the Nets are down. But we'll get into that series later. But Arca, how we doing, man?
Good to be back. I appreciate the name update right before the playoffs, so we can get right into it.
Okay, James. Let's go on to the West, which is I mean, it's pretty much Phoenix. It's going to be Phoenix. Let's go Phoenix, New Orleans, sweep.
Yep. Yeah. Same here. 4-0. I'm actually surprised. We won't even spend too much time on this. I'm surprised that the Pelicans made it this far, but props to them trading for CJ at the deadline to kind of get them to push in. One thing I want to mention about this series: where is Zion?
He wants out. He's not playing. I think he has been corrupted, and they want him out of New Orleans to be in a bigger market. And I think this is just part of the bullshit they're doing, which is dumb because they're in the playoffs without him, and they're pretty damn good without him. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I think he's been corrupted, and I don't think I'm gonna like him anymore. I'm anti-Zion now.
I mean, if they were going for a lottery pick, I get it. Just have him not play at all. But they make the playoffs. He doesn't even text CJ when he gets traded. The whole thing's really strange. Yeah, we'll see if they can push to one game close. But I would guess in this series, probably double-digit loss.
Yeah, it's going to be all if they have a game within 5, take that as a wet victory. That's a victory for the New Orleans Pelicans, a disappointment for the Suns. Fuck that series. Move on to the next one because we already know who won that one. Dallas, Utah. Now, if Luka Doncic didn't get a calf strain, I would have 100% have picked Dallas in like 5, maybe 6. Utah hasn't been playing very well at all. They love to blow leads. Dallas plays really well in the fourth quarter. It's kind of like a match made in heaven. There's no Luka though, so I think Utah is going to Mickey Mouse their way into the second round. And like especially yesterday too, Dallas started off hot, and then Utah just kind of took over. And Dallas doesn't have that one person that can take over like Luka does. And Luka is a one-man machine for the Mavericks. I mean, they might be a playoff team without him because the West is awful. But yeah, I don't see this going beyond 5 if Luka can't come back.
Yeah, I would say what you said. If Luka was here the whole series, I would have picked the Mavs in 5 or 6 games. If Luka plays maybe half of this series healthy, then I'll say that the Jazz in maybe 6. But right now, it's probably leaning towards 5. But I'll say on the safe side, I'm going to say Jazz in 6. They'll have one more round before they have to blow up the team. We'll get to that in a sec. But yeah, I think they're gonna miss Joe Ingles a lot. But without Luka, I don't think this Mavs team can.
It sucks because I love watching Luka, and even if he comes back like 75%, I mean, I don't know, I might still pick Dallas just because Utah has 0 team chemistry, and it's just they went from being one of the best best teams to watch. Now they're kind of all over the place. But anyway, I think both same page, both got Utah there. I mean, yeah, we got Utah purely off the fact that Luka's hurt. Golden State, Denver. Again, I picked Denver at the beginning of the year thinking they'd be healthy. At this point in the year, they not only don't have Jamal, they also don't have MPJ. So I don't know, man. It's another one of those things where it feels like Golden State's just gonna walk all over them, especially after watching last night. Clay, headband Clay is all the way back. He's good. He's back into full form. He's now back to being one of the best players in the NBA, and Steph's back. I mean, I don't see how. I mean, looking at the brackets too, like I don't know how Golden State doesn't make it to the conference finals.
Yeah,
if we're being completely
honest. I would say Golden State in 5. A lot of the classical injured teams, getting healthy in the playoffs, maybe they don't have chemistry. If there was any team just to have chemistry immediately, it would be this Golden State team. So I'm not worried about Clay coming back, not having chemistry. Poole's playing out of his mind. As a younger guy on the team, he's about to get paid. Unfortunately, Denver just doesn't have the firepower without Jamal Murray. With him, I would say maybe this is a 6 or 7 game series, but with Jokic being the only guy right now, it's got to be
They'll
go
win
the same
one. I
five.
mean, Denver's going to
Yeah,
win at least one. I mean, Jokic is
yeah,
too good, and the role players they have when they're in Denver, they'll probably get one game. But I love that roster when they're fully healthy.
yep,
It just sucks that Jamal's hurt. They probably are also thinking we're gonna next year's our year. But
yeah.
yeah, same page with that too. Golden State again. West sucks. It's kind of like all the top teams are just gonna kind of walk through everyone. Move on to the next one. Memphis
Yeah,
Grizzlies.
I'm just waiting for us to be on a different page here.
We might
Let's
be
see on this
we might
next
be on a
one.
different page here. We got the
Yeah,
Grizzlies against the Timberwolves. First thing I want to say is I think Anthony Edwards is the best player in the series. I don't think that's a hot take, or it probably is a hot take. John Morant's electrifying. He's great.
yeah.
There's things that he can't do that's more important in the playoffs than Anthony Edwards can do, and that's shoot from distance.
Hmm.
It's
And
one
the
of
physicality
and all
too.
the physicality portion takes out a
Yep.
lot of what Ja does well, even though he still does it well. As weird, stupid as that sounds, but yeah, it's like I think this is gonna be a lot more competitive than what people originally thought. I really really like Minnesota. I hate the fact that Pat Beverly's on their team. It's kind of like how I felt with the Clippers for all those years. I love the Clippers, and then
He's a guy. If he's on the other team, you hate him. But if he's on your team, he's your favorite player.
he's a guy who doesn't play a single minute for a team, and then when they win, he rubs it all on your face, and then when they lose, he
Yeah,
blames it on everyone else. He's such a little pest. I feel like the usual part contrarian of me supposed to like him,
yeah.
and it was funny watching him like crying and shit after he wins a play-in game and thinks he
Hey,
won.
actually, I got to take on that. I actually like that Minnesota was so passionate about it. They have out of
Fucking
all the
participation
NBA
trophy
teams
looking
ever.
ass. That's
Okay,
all.
out of all
That's
the
all I'm
NBA,
hearing.
it depends on what NBA franchise. If you do that on the Lakers, if you do that on the Celtics, on the Warriors, that's a rookie move. But for Minnesota and for those fans, that's they have the least amount of playoff wins. I know that technically the play-in doesn't count as a play-in win, but out of every NBA team ever. So if they had anything to celebrate, and you saw that translated into Game 1, that
That's true.
energy was
I will
smoked.
say that it did translate well. Though.
Yeah,
My only rebuttal to that is I would agree with you if they won a series. If they actually won
yeah.
a technical playoff game. They won a fucking
One
play-in game.
play-in game.
They didn't
Yeah.
win the
Fair enough.
playoff series. They won a fucking play-in game.
All right. So who do you have in the series?
I think it's going 7. It's a coin flip.
Hmm.
I'm going Memphis. I wouldn't be
Okay.
shocked if Minnesota wins though. They're finally healthy. I love D'Lo's one of the most underrated. He's back to being one of the most underrated players in the league. Cat's played like shit, and they've been pretty competitive.
They still, yeah.
And then Anthony Edwards has taken that like leap right in front of our eyes. Like I genuinely do think a part of it is Memphis is that it seems like that young team that which is weird because they're both young, but at the same time Minnesota's not young. If that kind of makes sense, they're all like in their mid to late
Yeah, they
20s.
they have a little bit more
D'Lo's been
experience
there
with
before.
Cat.
Pat
Yeah,
Bev's been there before. Cat's never been there. Edwards is just a fucking. He just has no remorse, no regard. He just kind of goes out there in
yeah.
fuck it mode.
He just has fun.
Yeah, he
He
just
just
has
has
fun,
fun
dude.
every
It's
game.
awesome.
Yeah.
I love watching him play. But no, I think Minnesota. Sorry, Jeremy, but Minnesota might win the series. And
Oh, okay. So you just said Memphis in 7. Now you're saying Minnesota in
I
7.
think a part of that might be because of that one game. I think it's going to go to 6 or 7. I do think Memphis, but like I would not be shocked if Minnesota wins at all. Like
Okay.
it's not like this is the first series like I generally like I couldn't tell you if you told me if you put a gun to my head, I would pick Memphis. But
Yeah. I'm
my
gonna I'm
heart
gonna
wants to take
I'm gonna stick to
Minnesota.
Memphis here. I'm
See,
gonna say Memphis in 6. I think that first game that was kind of a heat check game. Um, Minnesota is kind of a heat check team. Between Malik Beasley and D'Lo, they're pretty streaky. Edwards isn't a streaky player, but he is a young player, so expecting consistency from a young guy in the playoffs, unless he's like a totally a breakout player, we can't necessarily consider him to be the best player in the series.
no.
When you still have John Moran, who's probably second team NBA.
Yeah.
So I do appreciate the take, but I think the depth that Memphis has and their coaching, I think they're going to get the job done.
The one thing that concerns me with Memphis is the physicality aspect. Like, yes, they're a physical
Yeah.
team, but they're getting thrown around yesterday. I don't know what it was about yesterday, but every time I looked around, the Grizzlies were literally on the floor. Like
Yep.
Pat Bev would throw someone the Grizzlies to the floor. Like whatever would happen, like he just started throwing all the Grizzlies players to the floor. And I feel like the physicality aspect kind of took them by surprise, and it's something they
Yeah.
weren't used to. I'm interested to see how they bounce back. This would be, since we're recording this on Sunday, they'd be playing when this is posted the night yesterday. So I'm interested to see how they play yesterday. When this is posted. So anyway, let's go back through the quarters.
Yep.
Let's just finish off the West. I mean, you got
Sure.
Phoenix against Utah. I don't think we even need to talk about it. I mean,
Yep.
I think
We
it's
got Phoenix.
Phoenix and 5, maybe even
Yep.
4.
I'd say 4.
Yeah, I think they're gonna. I'm gonna give them 5, maybe 6. Maybe Donovan Mitchell hits a heat check. By the way, he takes some of the worst shots.
Yeah.
The Jazz love taking some of the worst shots I've ever seen. Bojan Bogdanovic is the only guy I think on that team with who has good shot selection.
That's
Mike
where they
Conley,
missed
Mike Conley, Mike
Joe
Conley.
Ingles.
Yeah,
Yeah, Joe Ingles was he took smart shots. He could facilitate. He could play a little bit of a passer at the top of the key. Losing him was pretty big, and I think they're going to miss him. And I think he was kind of the glue to the team in a way too, in terms of people getting along. So that's going to be a huge miss right there.
Yeah, I think trading him might end up. It's kind of like when the Pacers traded Danny Granger. Just kind of like
Yeah,
he's the leader of the locker room. Yeah, you might need another guy, but it doesn't make any sense. This could be Utah's kind of Pacer move. They are the Pacers of the West. It would be kind of they trade away this veteran guy that's been a part of the team from the rebuild. Then all of a sudden, all the head cases start going against each other. I don't know.
yeah.
Seems kind of like where we're going. Then move on to Golden State against Memphis/Minnesota. Let's just go ahead and say Memphis for just for this sake. Golden State, I don't think maybe Golden State in 6, maybe 5.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Golden State in 6. The one thing that Memphis does have compared to Golden State is that depth.
They also got
You know,
size. They got the
if
size
yeah,
advantage.
with one injury, Golden State, this could be a whole different team. So we're still counting on Clay to stay healthy. Some freak injury, to Curry, Draymond, something like that. Golden State to get to the Western Conference Finals will need to stay healthy. And not to mention Kevon Looney. I'm pretty sure he played every game this whole year. How much longer can he last in the playoffs against the
You're all in on
Grizzlies?
this injuries thing. You really are just expecting people to get hurt. You fucking asshole.
I mean, people don't appreciate depth in the playoffs. They say, it's shortened rotation, 7 to 8 man rotation. But, things happen in the playoffs and, Golden State, they really needed Wiseman this year. I don't know how good he would have been, but in terms of big men, the fact that they rely so much on Draymond and Kevon Looney to play center, especially when they're going to be facing, Steven Adams and
Jaren
Triple
Jackson is gonna
J.
fucking eat that
He's
series.
he's going to eat, and they're
He's
going
gonna
to
be
let him.
the Jaren Jackson's gonna deter. It's gonna be pretty much on him if they make it past the Warriors.
Yeah, but
It's
I'm
not gonna be.
still
It's
going to
not the
pick the
jaw
Warriors here.
matchup. It's gonna be Jaren Jackson and can he produce on offense and not get taken out by Draymond Green or whoever else whatever other goons they throw at him. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean I think so. That puts us at Phoenix, Golden State. This is where I think you and I will disagree. I think Golden State's gonna win.
Okay. The
And
one the
that's
one
gonna
thing
sting
for
out.
your argument, Steph Curry has had Chris Paul's number. Clay is a better version, career wise compared to Booker. Right now, Booker is probably the best shooting guard in the league. But yeah, I'm gonna pick the Suns here. I'm gonna pick them in 6. At the end of the day, who's gonna stop Aiton? Who's gonna stop all the wings that the Suns have too? I just don't see it.
That's gonna be the Golden. That's always been Golden State's downfall, though, is playing
Yeah.
elite big men. But
Yep.
yeah, I think I'm just taking Golden State just because I don't know. I think it's one of those things where they're too good not to. I don't know. They're back to healthy. Clay looks like he's back to normal. I don't expect him to get hurt again before those 2
Yeah.
injuries. He's one of the most durable guys in the league. I think he's back. So anyway, yeah. So we got those 2. I don't think either of those are really that surprising or that shocking. Let's move on over to the East. Miami,
Okay.
Atlanta. Miami fucking dog walked Atlanta. Originally, I
Yep.
thought this would be a competitive series. I don't think anymore. I think it's going to be a sweep.
Yeah, I would lean sweep. Wouldn't be surprised 5 games just because I think there's that one Trey game where he just goes bananas. But yeah, I'm going to lean Heat. Heat, are one of my top teams in the playoffs right now. I think defensively, um, the chemistry. I think they're going to go pretty far. They may have the best coach in the East right now, Spoelstra. I mean, he's getting to the point where he's a little bit underrated. The fact that he's the number 1 seed and that completely went under the radar. There are probably 5 to 10 more storylines compared to the Heat being the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
So I think they're getting a little bit disrespected. They can shoot the ball. They have guys who can bang. They got Bam, they got Tucker, they got Butler, guys who can D up and aren't afraid to get gritty in the playoffs.
Hold on. Breaking news.
Yeah.
My intern Harry. I fell asleep at 7 a.m. and just woke up. Congrats, dude, on college. Anyway, back to Miami, Atlanta. Yeah, I don't see Trey going supernova, and even if he does, I don't think that's enough to beat Miami. They're too damn
Yep.
good. Yeah, so let's go ahead and move on. It's kind of like the Phoenix to Orleans series. Is kind of like it is what it is. Philadelphia, Toronto. So yesterday doesn't really deter me from what I originally thought. I thought Philly was going to win 7. I think the series is going to be. Well, actually, no. Take that back. I forgot Toronto has all those injuries. It went from being I thought it was going to be a super competitive series, and now I think Philly's going to dog walk them. That's what I meant
Yeah.
to say because Scotty Barnes is out, Fred VanVleet
Mhm.
I think got hurt, and then there was someone else who got hurt as well. It was Scotty, Fred, and I can't remember. There's another guy who got hurt on the team, but anyway, they're getting drilled by injuries at the worst possible time.
Yeah.
They had the best matchup against Philly, especially because Doc Rivers loves to choke. He loves to choke 2-0 leads.
Yep.
And they lose Thibault when they go to
Yeah.
Toronto. And I thought that was going to be another thing where like they're going to be up 2-0, then they're going to go down to 2-2 because they lose Thibault, and Nick Nurse is such a better coach than Doc Rivers, who is probably the most overrated coach in the NBA. But I think that's starting to catch up. I think everyone is.
That's a great take.
I
We
think
can go into that if you want to go into that.
real quick, I think everyone's catching up on that because I've noticed
Yeah.
it more and more. A lot of people are saying it's like I think Doc Rivers is not that good of a coach, and I don't
I
really.
think
I
you
think
have
he's
these
very
coaches
overrated.
that players love, right? And Doc Rivers has that tag to him that he's a player's coach, right?
Yeah.
Every player, for the most part, at the end of his tenure, has been pretty mad at Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Besides the championship that KG pretty much won for Boston.
Yeah.
What does he have to show for a bunch of 3-1 leads blown in the playoffs?
He had no
A bunch of
business
unhappy
losing when he was
superstars.
in
Yeah,
LA. Like there's so many teams he had that had no business not making it to the finals. It's
yeah.
just absurd. It's absurd. And like this Philly team, the fact that they're a 4 seed. Well, to be fair, they didn't have Ben Simmons. They didn't have James Harden. I don't know. But part of me does think this might be a weird year for Philly. We might see something
Mhm.
crazy, but we'll see. So anyway,
Yeah,
uh,
I think they're one of the high upside, low
oh,
floor
yeah,
teams
they
that
could get like if
yeah.
Toronto was healthy. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they swept
I'm
Philly.
gonna I'm gonna pick Philly in 6 games. I think they do match up. They have length, but I don't think anyone's gonna stop Embiid this series. Maxey,
The injuries fucked him. I
yeah,
mean, we've kind of already talked about it enough. I
yeah,
think we're on the same page with it. Toronto got fucked by injuries. Nothing you can do
yep,
about that. Philly's going to do well, even though Doc Rivers is a terrible coach. Anyway, Milwaukee, Chicago. Again, Chicago, another team. They were pretty damn good throughout most of the year, and they got played by injuries pretty hard. Losing Lonzo Ball is
yep.
awful injury.
And Caruso for most of the
Yeah,
year.
Carissa for most of the year, but originally what probably would have been a very fun, intense series. Chicago does lose to every team that's better than them.
Yep.
I hate saying like this feels like the East. We were talking about this a little bit with the West about a bunch of sweeps. I think
Yeah.
Milwaukee is going to sweep Chicago.
I think the East is a little
Chicago.
bit more top heavy than we think.
Yeah, it is. It is. What is
Yeah.
also well, we're not not the next one we're going to talk about. We haven't picked any upsets really either. I think the only upset we really picked was Utah, and that one
Yeah.
doesn't. Well, I did.
And
I picked
that's
Minnesota.
kind of an even series.
Yeah, it's kind of an
4-5,
even series.
so.
Yeah, so it's like Milwaukee's going to walk through them. Chicago struggles with better teams.
Yeah.
I don't know. They don't match up at all with. Well, they have Pat
Oh,
Williams
no,
now to match
it's
up
a
with.
terrible matchup. Giannis is going to feast in the paint.
Yeah,
I'm going to say probably 5 games because I don't want to disrespect the Bulls. I think there is that one game DeRozan and Levine and company could hit a bunch
they'll
of
pop
threes
off
and go
at
out.
Chicago. Probably like game. I think game 3 they might take, and then like a gentleman sweep for Milwaukee.
Yep.
That's what I expect to see. All right. That was an easy one to pick her out.
Now we have the good series.
The East gets fun in the quarters.
Yeah.
You got Boston and Brooklyn.
Yep.
I think Brooklyn's going to win in 6. I know that might not be the hottest. I mean, I don't know if that's a hot take, cold take, middle take. As much as I want to like Boston, I like the idea of Boston. I like how they've been playing. I can't trust Jason Tatum. It's just weird to say. Jason Tatum is like, he thinks he's Kobe. He plays like he's Kobe, but he's not Kobe.
You're so wrong. You're so wrong.
No, I'm 100% right. He will force shots that are
He's
just
a different man
dog
this
shit.
year.
I don't
He
care.
took it to
We're
the
in the
next
playoffs.
level. He's
We're in
first
the
team NBA
no,
this
no.
year.
We're in the
Yeah.
playoffs now, which is when every single time he thinks he's Kobe. I cannot trust Jason Tatum. I don't care how much he's growing up or whatever. I also can't ever bet against Kevin Durant, who is the second best player in the NBA. So yeah, I'm just two birds, one stone. I'm all in on Brooklyn.
Yeah, I'm going Boston in 7 games. at the end of the day, Boston has a complete team defensively. Smart is going to be, on Kyrie the whole series. I think Kyrie and KD are going to go off. They're going to each have, great games. But we saw what happened when the Nets played the Bucks last year, and it was pretty much the Kevin Durant show. Him scoring 40 plus points a game, playing 40 minutes a game. It just won't be enough. And I think Tatum is going to take it to that next level. Kind of like how when Durant finally beat LeBron, it was, that moment for him. I think Tatum's going to have that moment where he beats KD and could be regarded as, one of the top players in the East between him and beating KD. But you got to give some respect
You're
to the
so
Celtics.
Boston washed right now. You're so Boston washed. You just listen to Bill Simmons and you just listen. You're just like, you're eating it like soup. You're like, yum, 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 yum. Give me that Boston soup.
You can't. Okay, here's the thing about the Nets. They're defensively.
No,
They're,
I'm saying I agree.
yeah,
Celtics are good. They've been
yeah.
playing great, but they come out here and say Tatum's gonna come out and act like he's like Giannis, KD. He's like the
He's
tier
first team
below.
NBA.
He's the tier below.
He's first team NBA.
I don't give a fuck. Like I've seen enough with my own eyes. I've seen him in these situations.
It won't have to be Tatum versus KD. KD is the better player. We both agree on that. But we're talking about the two teams. Dragic and Patty Mills and Seth Curry are three of the best players besides Kyrie and KD in that team. They're
You're
about that
forgetting a
tall.
very important player.
Who's that?
Ben Simmons. He's gonna come in the fourth game like a fucking superhero,
If Ben
and he's gonna
Simmons
clamp
goes
up.
into the game,
Ben Simmons is going to clamp.
they're going to foul that man every play, hack a Ben. There's gonna be the Boston fans screaming at him to make a free throw. The whole game is gonna be
He's a changed
Ben
man.
Simmons.
I'm a
breaking
Ben
against
Simmons truther. I'm a Ben Simmons
Oh,
truther. This is not like Jameis though. I shit, but I'm a Ben Simmons truther. He's going to clamp the fuck up Jason Tatum, and then the Celtics are going to be fucked. That's what's going to
all right.
happen. I'm
We'll
telling
see.
you this. I am telling you this
It's not our
now
first
because it will be
disagreement.
so fucking funny when Ben Simmons comes in, clamps the fuck out of Jason Tatum, and every Philly fan's like, "What the fuck is this coming from?" And then they're gonna win.
On
There's
paper,
several Ben Simmons. They're literally gonna
they
tell
need
Ben
him
Simmons just stand in the
defensively.
corner. Don't ever touch the ball. Just make some cuts. You're never bringing the ball up the floor. You're not going to get in the situation to get
He
fouled.
won't do that. He won't
Yes,
do
he
that.
will. Yes, he will. 100% he will.
No,
Yes, he
no.
will.
He had no time to get any chemistry with anyone on his team because he couldn't get ready for the season. He's gonna come if he comes back and has the balls to come back in the playoffs. He's gonna have a mental breakdown. He won't be able to hit a shot. Defensively, yeah, maybe he'll slow down Tatum a little bit.
For
But
someone being so
yeah.
like pro participation trophy with the Timberwolves celebrating a play-in game, you're really against Ben Simmons' mental health. You fucking asshole.
I support everyone's mental health except Ben Simmons.
Oh my god, you're so Boston washed. All right, let's move on to let's just go ahead in quarters. I mean, you got Boston, I got Brooklyn. It doesn't matter. I think let's just their matchup with the Milwaukee. Neither of them are going to beat Milwaukee.
Yeah,
I don't care. Ben Simmons,
I'm
Ben
going
Simmons.
Milwaukee wins whoever they play next round. I
They'll
do
go
think
6. Milwaukee's is going to go 6.
Either way, it's going to go 6 or 7. I think, but I think Giannis is still the best player in the East, and he's going to dominate.
I love Giannis so much. Yeah, Milwaukee's so good. They're too good, and they're coming. They brought everyone back. You could arguably say they might even be better this year. I don't know. Well, it's either team. The worst matchup is going to be Miami. It's going to be which part of me doesn't think might happen. Part of me thinks there is a weird scenario where Philly somehow gets into the conference finals.
So let's talk about that.
Let's go ahead and talk about that because we can actually talk about this. I think there is a part of me that thinks James Harden's going to go off.
Okay,
that's me being stupid as shit, thinking James Harden's not going to shit down his pants. In the opportunity. I don't know why. I think it has something to do with the fact that I think he actually genuinely likes Joel Embiid, and he's bought in right now. But if there's ever a moment of doubt in Philly, I think James Harden's going to quit, I take all this back because that is always live. There could literally they can go out to dinner. And he's like, let's go to a strip club. And they're like, we're not going to go to a strip club, James. We're in the playoffs.
Right,
he's like, what the fuck?
He's going to be playing Miami in the playoffs. What do you think he's doing on his off nights?
We all know what he's doing
in Miami.
So maybe that's a benefit for Philly.
That's a benefit for Miami.
No, I think that's a benefit for Philly because then it makes him happy. He's like, oh, I'm going to go to all the strip clubs.
He's going to be going out the night before. He's going to be dehydrated the next day. He's going to cramp up. Something's going to happen. I do trust Embiid in these playoffs for the first time in a really long time. I think he can do what Giannis did last year, where Giannis just took over in the playoffs. I think we can see that from Embiid. But I think defensively, and I don't even think Harden's gonna shit the bed or anything. I think defensively, the Sixers are going to get exposed against Toronto. They'll be fine, but in the next round when they play Miami, and if they did get far enough to play the Bucks, I just don't think they have the pieces defensively. Tobias Harris is negative defender. Maxi's not a terrible defender, but he's a little bit undersized. I just don't think they have the bodies right now. Danny Green may be the Sixers' best perimeter defender right now.
I would say Thibault.
Well, yeah, Thibault. Yeah,
I'd say Thibault's the best, but
in this first series,
I'm gonna say Miami in 7. I think it's gonna be super competitive. I think the only thing holding me back for Miami, and this might sound crazy, is they don't have a top 15 player. I think Butler's a top 20. I think Butler's like a top.
Bam's probably a top 15.
They have like 2 guys that are top 25.
20.
Butler and Bam.
Yeah, top 20, top 25.
Yeah, those two are both. There are no questions asked in those. They're in that.
Tyler Hero has to be 6th man of the year.
Yeah, exactly. Did you say Tyler Hero?
Yeah, Tyler Hero.
I'm not giving that man respect. I don't care.
That man is 6th man of the year. It's runaway.
Bubble boy. Anyway, so like back to the important part. There's not a person on that team where like they need a shot.
Yeah,
they have to hit that shot. There's not a person on that team where I'm like, I am so confident in. While I was in Philly, I trust Joel Embiid.
Even Maxey has stepped up. He can be a shot maker. He has guts at the end of the game.
Dude, Brooklyn just took the lead after being down 11 in the 4th. It took them 5 minutes. They're so good.
They just have to shoot. They just have to shoot. If they can make their threes, defensively it won't matter. That's the key to them.
Yeah, they're so, it's stupid how good they are. Anyway, back to the main part. As we're doing this on Easter Sunday in the middle of great basketball day. Anyway, but I think that's the only thing holding me back from Miami compared to like every other elite team. They have a go-to guy like in the final minute. Like I like Butler. I think, as I said, I think he's a great player. But in terms of like the final 2 minutes, I know
he's not really
it might sound crazy.
Yeah. No, I hear what you're saying. Right now, the whole season, they've actually been using a lot of different guys at the end of the game.
Yeah, they've been switching it up, and I think that might be.
Robinson,
I think
Lowry,
yeah. I think at the end of the day, that might end up fucking them more than helping them because, but also defensively though, you don't know who the ball is going to go to, and they're just going to trust their guys. Which I mean, that's also pretty smart too. But in terms of like in the playoffs, you always think of like who's that guy, which is also why I think Minnesota might beat the Grizzlies because like I trust Anthony Edwards with the ball, and I also trust D'Angelo Russell with the ball.
Oh no, that's a terrible take. You trust D'Angelo Russell? This is
no, I'm taking that back. I'm taking D'Angelo Russell back. I'm taking that
take
back.
that one back. Keep the Anthony Edwards take.
I'm keeping Anthony Edwards. I'm taking
D'Lo. I love D'Lo, but that dude is inconsistent.
I'm taking back my D'Lo take. He's also been hurt, but I'm sticking with the Anthony Edwards. I'm sticking with my Anthony Edwards take, and I'm sticking with the Anthony Edwards as the best player in that series. But Miami, I do think they're going to pull out with Philly. I do, but that'll be a very fun competitive series. So going on to the Eastern Finals, we got we'll have Miami. Let's just say Miami against Milwaukee. I think it's gonna be Milwaukee wins again. I think they win.
Yeah,
I think they're gonna win in 5, maybe 6.
Oh, okay. No, I think it's gonna be a 7-game series. So I think it'll be a little bit more competitive.
They're literally just all it's gonna be is them talking about last year when they got swept.
I guess it could be 6 games because then you would have the Bucks winning at home because Miami has home court. That's the only way I could see you maybe saying maybe Miami makes it that far. But we need to see Butler ramp it up. Hero needs to go crazy. That's the only way that he made to the finals. The Bucks, I could see them not even playing to their best standard and still making it just because of how good Giannis is.
Isn't it crazy how good Giannis is and like the credit he doesn't get?
He's he's super underappreciated,
which is crazy to say because he's so good. Yeah. Like people already talk about it. Like what's crazy to me too is, and I think we've said this before. I don't think we've said this on the podcast. Like it's one of those situations. Like if he really was in LA or New York, he actually would be like a global superstar because like his personality, like he's one of the funniest dudes in the NBA. Mm-hmm. Like he's just a goofy dude, but he's so.
I also think it's an international thing too. Him and Jokic are really low key. They care about their team. They're not looking for all those endorsements and trying to talk on social media as much compared to some of the other guys in the NBA right now.
Americans.
It's more about me. Am I going to get MVP? Am I going to I don't think
Luka's kind of Americanized a little bit.
Yeah. But I think Giannis being in Milwaukee, Giannis, not caring as much about that AAU attitude where everyone's best friends. He's not about that. He's not trying to be best friends with everyone in the league. He just cares about his teammates and winning.
All right, so that puts us in Milwaukee.
Yep.
Then
Phoenix rematch.
Phoenix / I have Golden State. I got Milwaukee back-to-back champs for the first time since 10 years.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I'm picking Phoenix to win it all. Um, Phoenix was doing pretty good in the beginning of that series last year until Giannis just completely obliterated Aiden at the end of the year. But I think there are going to be different matchups right now. I think the Suns could play a little bit smaller and try to play a little faster in the rematch. But I'll give that 7 games because I think that'll be a great series.
We'll see. I'm all on the Milwaukee train. I think it's good for the NBA if they win again. Or actually, I don't know if it's good for them. I think what's good for the NBA is if Brooklyn.
I want to see Chris Paul win a ring.
Nah, fuck
That's
him.
what I want to see.
Fuck him. There's this Chris Paul conundrum I get into where I start to try to make myself like Chris Paul, and then he does something. I'm like, come on, dude, you're such a.
All right, let me go on a Chris Paul rant right now, really quick. Everywhere he's
Ryan
gone,
Rosillo.
everywhere Chris Paul has gone, they've been a top team. I know he's had some disappointments in the playoffs, but if you look back at each one, it can be accounted for either injury, freak things. The Clippers, laughing stock, in the lottery every year. He goes to them, Western Conference Finals. They didn't make it. They had a bunch of disappointing playoffs loss. We can go into that whole Clippers thing, but he goes to the Rockets. James Harden is supposed to be this MVP player, and all of a sudden they're going to the Western Conference Finals. They're a game away. He goes to the Thunder, who are supposed to be tanking. They make it to the playoffs mistakenly. He goes to the Suns, another lottery team. They go to the finals. So I think we got to give some credit to Chris Paul. He's probably third team NBA this year. But him and Booker, I think it's been super helpful for Booker to have a guy like Chris Paul. I don't think, Booker was never meant to be a point guard. He was meant to be off the ball a little bit. Chris Paul organized all those young guys like Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Ayton, their trajectory in the NBA and, their future contracts are completely, higher than what they would have been without Chris Paul. So you got to give credit to him. I want to see him win a ring. I think it could happen. 7 games. I'm going to the Suns.
All right. I don't think he's going to win. I think it's just the classic Chris Paul thing is going to happen this year where either he gets hurt, someone gets suspended, maybe a 3-1 lead they blew. I don't know. We're going to have some funny Chris Paul moment.
Or an injury. We'll see.
Or injury. Or what if he just gets clamped up by Ben Simmons in the Brooklyn Nets?
What are the odds right now that the Nets make the finals? They're actually pretty good, right?
They're right below the Bucks.
Yeah, it's insane. Vegas right now is all on the Nets train.
Yeah, it's because they're healthy. Well, not healthy, but it's like, why would you bet against Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving?
When you have 2 top 15 players, anything can happen.
I think you make a case they're both top 10.
Yeah.
Kyrie's the questionable top 10 just because he's been.
Yeah, I don't think Kyrie playing half the year he can qualify as a top 10 player, but
well, fuck that. We're not giving awards out. Like, you can still say he's a top 10 player.
All NBA. We're talking all NBA. Kevin Durant.
I don't give a fuck about those titles and awards. I speak with my eyes and what I really believe.
All right, so you're talking about a top 10 talent.
Yeah, he's a top 10 talent, top 10 player.
All right, well, if we list out everyone, I don't think we're going to get to top 10.
Maybe not. I don't know. But if you're talking about like all NBA, he's not eligible to be a top 10 player this year because he didn't play out of the season.
Fair enough. Kevin Durant,
we're a fucking podcast.
Kyrie won't be the reason the Nets win. If the Nets win, it's going to be because of KD. So KD's going to have to be unreal.
I agree. All right, that wraps that up. We'll have Jarka on before the next round. Go back over how stupid our takes were or how great our takes were. I'm going to cut off the Grizzlies thing. I'm going to cut off me saying Grizzlies win and keep the Timberwolves thing if they win. And then I'll keep the Timberwolves thing and if the Grizzlies win because that's a take I'm willing to end on. Once again, apologies to Jeremy. I'm sorry. But without further ado.
I want to clarify for Jeremy and all the Memphis Grizzlies fans out there. I do support the Grizzlies right now. They're going to win this series, and John Moran is still the best player in that series.
I disagree. And also Bulls fans, sorry. So
I'm not sorry to the Bulls fans.
Asshole. All we've learned in this show, all we've learned in our short episode today is that you're an asshole. I'm also glad you didn't say, yeah, Kevin Durant's going to get hurt because he's going to get tossed around by the Boston Celtics.
It's
Like, the
possible.
fuck?
I mean,
The
you got
fuck?
Marcus
You're
Smart, you
literally
got
like, I'm
Tatum,
predicting
you
an
got Horford.
injury. You
You got
can't
a lot
predict
of
a fucking
bodies.
injury. Like, the
Well,
fuck?
you can if the guy's been historically injured the last couple of years and barely played, and he's going to be playing 40 minutes. You can't just wear a guy out like that. That's going to be too many minutes for him.
Asshole. All right, for me,
All
for
right.
Arcatecht, we'll see you guys in like 2 weeks. Always great talking to Arca. That was good talk with some NBA basketball. Actually, I'm gonna reach out to him and do about doing that every week. But let's go on into our winners and losers and kind of continue with the NBA talk. We have our first ever coincidental winner, Kyrie
Yes, sir.
Irving. Everyone out there bitching about him giving the bird, you're soft. Like, if it was anyone else
Absolutely.
not named Kyrie Irving, I think a lot of people would be for it. But it's like when you're getting Boston has been in his head for years, and he's been pretty damn quiet. And now he's kind of going back at it. But at the same time, though, think about it through the fan's perspective. If you're the fan that gets Kyrie Irving to flip you off, like, that's a lifelong memory, and you can't ever take that away. Like, that's something that like you need to look at it in terms of like, those Boston fans will literally always remember that moment. And those are kind of things about sports that's so special, is you get these once in a lifetime moments you never forget. And even though it's Kyrie Irving telling you you're a fucking pussy or giving you the double birds, like, that's still memories, and it's also at the same time, it's fair game. Like, he just works, he just plays a game for a living, you know?
Yeah, imagine like if we were recording an episode and then some dude noticed that and just started heckling us. We would give him the bird right there and then.
It's
Like
yeah.
he's trying to do his job. Let him do his thing. And at the same time, if you're that guy, you can go and brag to all your friends and be like, "Yo, I'm the one who actually broke Kyrie. I'm the one who made him act out against us." So it's a win-win for everybody involved, except for actually Kyrie, who's probably going to get a massive fine out of this.
Nah,
But
he won't get that
good
big
for
of a fine. I'm all for it.
yeah,
I'm all for him fighting back. I'm all for players chirping back. I
yeah,
think it's the funniest shit in the world. And at the same time, too, is like Kyrie responding to them and things like that. It's just fair game. Like, if you can hear it,
yeah,
if you're on courtside, you should just expect it to get clap back. Like, maybe you lose a beer, maybe you get your feelings hurt. If you're gonna
yeah,
throw that shit, the kind of rule of this show, if you're gonna throw that shit, you better be able to take that shit. If you can't do it,
exactly.
don't do it. That's kind of the
That's
rule
a
of
rule
thumb.
for life.
Yeah, if you
Yeah,
can't take it, don't throw it.
don't do something you won't be able to back up. That's just the golden rule.
Just
Everyone says it's do unto others as you would yourself. No, it's if you're prepared to chat shit, get ready for shit to get talked back to you.
yeah, like I feel like the more I've listened and seen, it's really just Boston people are mad at Kyrie, which just makes sense because they hate Kyrie more
Yeah.
than life itself. But yeah, Kyrie Irving, massive winner. Let's move on to our losers.
Yes.
This is obviously we'll talk more about UFC with Chad Skelly for Friday's show, but I just want to say losers is pretty much anyone who watched the main event and saw Bilal Muhammad get another win. I'm gonna just say this on behalf of someone who, like, I'm really indifferent on him, but here's why a lot of people don't like Bilal. It's not the fact that he wins. It's not the fact that he's a boring fighter. It's that he has literally zero finishing like threats. He's not going to choke someone out. He's not going to knock anyone out. So it's like, what's he going to do? He's just going to fucking wrestle and point fight. That's why no one likes Bilal. Not no one. That's why most people don't like watching him fight, is because the excitement factor isn't really there. He's a good fighter. He's very smart with his fighting. He's a very high IQ fighter. But in terms of like the watcher, I'm like, that's not what you want to watch. You want to watch someone get knocked out, choked out. You want to watch, you know, all those other kinds. Like, unless you're a fucking nerd underground dude who's like, yeah, I fucking love Bilal
Yeah.
because he's so high IQ and he just fights so smart and things like that. Fuck off. No, that's not what we want to watch. At least like guys like Izzy, for instance, who can sometimes fight a little boring. That's in smart fighting. He can knock that person out though at any given second. Bilal can't do
Yeah.
that. So anyway, losers, all the UFC fans and people that like are trying to defend the fact that like Bilal's a fun, exciting fighter. Don't ever fucking say that, because he's not. He's a smart, good fighter, but he's the opposite of exciting. Sorry, I had to get that. I also had to get that rant out of me,
No.
because I've seen it's
Yeah.
like it's hard to like see like on Twitter and like just in general the media, like they're trying to give Bilal his kudos, but they're not doing it in the correct way. They're trying to say he's a very exciting fighter. No, get the fuck out of here. No, he's not. Like let's not pretend he isn't. That's like trying to say, I don't even know, but like just chill out with that shit. He's a good fighter, just not exciting at all.
It's like trying to say that Kawhi isn't a robot off the court. He's a very bubbly personality.
Yeah, you can't say Kawhi has a
When
bubbly personality. He's a
exactly.
he's a fucking Terminator. So yeah, Harrison, you're a loser.
My loser goes out to any college who claims they have the greatest week in academics or college because that's just unequivocally false, because that greatest college week is going on right now at Indiana University. It's Little 5 week for those who are uneducated, and Little 5 is the greatest college race in the world. Bunch of fraternity and sorority people running around the track on a bike, getting dirty and having a whole bunch of fun. And everybody else who's not participating in the race is just getting fucked up the whole week. So if you have a claim to the greatest college week in the world, you're wrong. It's here at IU, and I won't be hearing anything else. You're just a loser if you think any otherwise.
All right, well that's talking college with our
Yes, sir.
resident college student. I drank like 10
Got a
beers
rep.
and I'm still hungover today. I hate growing up. All right,
Yep.
going on to my next winner. The Wolves protesters. God damn it, you can't get away from them.
Yes, sir.
So first you had Glue Girl. And then next time, now you have Chain Girl. She literally brought a chain in and chained herself up to the fucking basketball hoop. Like how? How did she get through security? And it wasn't even Minnesota. They did it in Memphis, and that was the funniest part. They literally traveled from Minnesota to Memphis, and then if you tweeted about it, I got a response from the people, like their team. Their team is I'm gonna pull it up real quick because I want everyone to know the direct action everywhere.
Way.
Their literal response was Chain Girl at I'm not gonna say the name, but if you really want to know what it is, just go to my Twitter. And Glue Girl are both with us. Full story here. No more factory farms. Chain Girl, Glue Girl, Glenn Taylor.
Glenn Taylor.
If you just go through their Twitter timeline, though, they're replying to anyone who says like either of those names, but most of the people who are saying it are like, what the fuck are they doing? And what's going to happen next? We have a Glue Girl and Chain Girl. Like, I'm now very excited for the next game, not because of the game itself. Well, yes, because of the game itself, but
the game's going to be good.
The protester, like, I'm very excited to see what this next protester does. Like,
they've done glue, they've done chains. What can they do next?
I don't know. I was listening to part of my take today. I think that the funniest idea. What if Glenn Taylor just killed a chicken in the middle, like for a halftime show?
He should. At this point, he should just get all of his equipment out and center court. Hey guys, you want to see how you get your chicken?
Oh my god, that'd be so funny. But yeah, it's like I'm now very interested. I don't give a shit about their cause. Like, honestly, I'm sorry. I'm for animal rights, things like that. But like, you're fighting a cause for a guy who already sold the stake in the team. He's not even the owner really anymore. He's like they're in the grace period of like transitioning over to A-Rod.
What's that gonna do?
Yeah, are they gonna start protesting Ben Affleck because of Jennifer Lopez? Like, what's next? Is that what's next for the Minnesota protesters?
Maybe they're gonna start supporting Amber Heard in her losing fight against Johnny Depp. I don't know.
There's a lot of opportunities for these Wolves protesters, but they got to move on from Glenn Taylor because he's not the owner. He's not gonna be the owner here soon. Anyway, Harrison, your last winner.
My last winner goes to the main man, the answer 2.0, Tyrese Maxey, because that dude, I swear, give him like 2 more years in the NBA, and he's gonna be one of either a second team or a first team All NBA player. He is the reincarnation of Allen Iverson, and I get chills watching it because it takes me back in time. The dude is unreal, and all the other teams that passed up on him in the draft must be kicking themselves right now. The fact that he fell to 23 is ridiculous.
Right, well, that's talking Philly and talking college with our local college Philadelphia resident. I'll move on to our loser, USFL. I had no idea they were even starting last weekend. And not only that, they cut a dude for eating pizza instead of chicken salad. Like, that's got to be the dumbest shit I've seen. So USFL not only had terrible marketing, they cut a dude for the stupidest fucking reason. I'm not just saying this because I like the XFL and we had face of an XFL team, Cardell Jones, as a friend of the program. But the XFL was so much better done. Like, I knew when it was happening. I saw a ton of highlights. I saw nothing on Twitter about the USFL.
Yeah,
I saw literally 0 highlights. I think all I saw was a dude who plays like tooth floss in his mouth, like one of those like sticks, not like floss, but like one of those stick floss things. That's all I saw for the USFL. So they were doing a terrible job with their marketing. They're gonna flop. They're probably not even gonna make it to championship based on what I'm already seeing. Like, I don't need to know anything else. Like, it's gonna flop. AAF had better coverage.
Yeah, the only reason that I knew that there were even games going on this weekend was because I went over to my friend's place on Thursday and was like, "Yo, if you're not working Saturday, come on by. We're gonna be watching the USFL game." I'm like, I'm working, but that's going on this week?
Who knew?
No.
Who knew? Who fucking knew? All right, Harrison, your last loser.
Yeah, my last loser is my sleep schedule, just because it's gone to the shitter. I was talking with Tommy before we started recording, but Saturday I got off work and we get to make ourselves like a nice little drink afterward, and I made something with coffee at 1 a.m. I know, genius, right? But I didn't get to fall asleep until 7, and I need to get back on that melatonin grind so I can actually, you know, be a normal functioning human, I guess. But yeah, my sleep schedule. More, I guess that's more college talk out of the college kid.
More college talk, a lot more college talk. Let's go into our shout outs. My first shout out was women's MMA. We've only had 2 finishes by strikes in the entire year. And we're in middle of April. So I'm all for women's rights. I'm just stating a fact for women's MMA. There's only been 2 finishes by strikes. One was a spinning elbow, and then I don't even know what the other one was. So just shout out.
One of them was one of the best knockouts of the year so far, but
Yeah.
that's only 1 of 2.
That's 1 of 2.
That's like
hella submissions.
We got to get
hella submissions. But
yeah.
There's been little to no knockouts. So shout out women's MMA. Harrison?
Yeah, my first shout out is going to go to Taika Waititi for just being one of the best directors in the modern era, because the new Thor trailer came out today, and my superhero nerd brain is just firing on all cylinders right now. So thank you, Taika. That's all I got to say about that.
My next one is Kendrick Lamar. He has a new album coming out in a month. He's back. The King is back. He saw Jack Harlow had a #1 single. He's like, well, it's time for me to come back from the dead. Kendrick Lamar here to save rap. Super stoked. Super stoked because he's been sitting on this since like 2016. So to think what he's done in 6 years.
That's when Dan came out, right?
Yeah, that's when Dan came out. So 6 years since we had a last Kendrick Lamar project. I'm stoked. Super stoked. So shout out Kendrick.
How can you not be?
Shout out
K-Dot. So excited.
Shout out K-Dot.
Yeah, he's the man. I mean, we all saw it again at the Super Bowl halftime show with that electric performance, but he's just the dude. And my final shout out goes to the top 4 quarterbacks in the NFL for playing a golf game that nobody's going to watch. But Tom Brady and Aaron Rodgers are putting their differences aside to play Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen in the match. And, bringing the most electric quarterbacks in the NFL together to play something that maybe 5 people will watch. That's some pull right there. They got to be making some bread off of that.
There's nothing I'd rather watch than watch NFL quarterbacks play golf without a single professional golfer there. There's nothing I'd rather watch. It's
just throw Charles Barkley into the mix and you got yourself electric television.
Yeah, something I won't watch. Anyway, and then this is the first time this is one of the few times I'll ever be a homer. Shout out the Colts for having the best defense in the NFL, signing Stephon Gilmore. Watch the fuck out. They have in terms of like safety ratings, they have the top 2 safeties in pass coverage, and McLeod and Julian Blackman. They just added fucking, as I said, Stephon Gilmore. Got Darius Leonard.
That's ridiculous.
Kenny Moore. Ooh. That's one of the few times I'll be a homer. I'm not getting my hopes up too much.
But
I'm gonna be
you
crushed.
guys deserve this, honestly. Like,
no,
it's been.
No, we don't.
I mean.
No, we don't.
It's good that you guys have this finally after all those years of dealing with pain and quarterback issues and all that fun stuff.
It's the recovery from the Luck era. There's this recovery from Ryan Grigson destroying the franchise from the inside out. So anyway, that's the show. Friday, we got a very special guest. I don't even want to spoil it here. You'll find out Thursday night. Keep it on the DL, but he's one of our favorite guests. He's probably the most viewed, download, listen to episode ever. So be on the tune out for that.
Good reason.
Be on the tune out for that. See you guys on Friday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for sticking around with me all the way to the end. I just want to once again thank the sponsor of the show, Living.Fit. If you're looking to better yourself, make sure you go to download the app or visit the website Living.Fit today.